Hello everyone. So topic was not ended in the previous video. I welcome you again in this video and stay tuned to this reading series. If you focus on this series, you will understand all strategies behind IELTS reading, different kind of questions. So let's not waste our more time and start this video. So now let's move to heading question for section B. When we read B paragraph, first word is ironically, which tells us they are talking about something negative here compared to section A. So after reading first line, we got to know that they're talking about problems. First one is complaint. So it could be our answer. So we, since this one is, they are doing so many complaints here, so this might be our answer. So we could write down 1 in front of 28th question. Second question also saying something similar, that fundamental beliefs are incorrect. So second could be our answers. Here this line, after reading this line, we get just sense of this one. So I write down second in front of 28th question. Third one is early recommendation, organization, company. They didn't mention at all. So third, fourth, fifth could not be our answer. Sixth is opposite to what they said in paragraph. So in the paragraph they said people did it and they are talking about their effects of that, but here they are saying people are increasingly expected to. So this will be not our answer as well. So in this one, how to achieve our outcomes, but here they are showing frustration or failure of that approach they previously used. So this could not be our answer. Neither approach, but here they only mention about one approach, and that is organization or order. Here ninth question, they are talking about evidence, but here they are not talking about any evidence here, and they are not talking about advantages then advantages, something like that. So our probable answer should be first or second. C paragraph doesn't have any fill in the blank keyword in this one, and not true false keyword also we can find in this one. So we are going to straightly try to solve heading question in this one. In C paragraph they are talking about the approach for fathers and when this technique was born. So look at the first question, complaints. In this one, after reading these 4 lines, because this paragraph is so small, so we have to read all lines, but they didn't talk about any complaints here, so first could not be our answer. So second, in this one, fundamental beliefs that are in fact incorrect, but in this one they didn't say incorrect or incorrect thing, so second could not be our answer. Here third question, early recommendations concerning business activities. Early recommendations, what means early recommendations? Early recommendation is it was given a long ago. So here you can see that Frederick Taylor was one of the forefathers of scientific management, writing in the first half of the 20th century. So he decided a number of principles to improve the efficiency of the work process. So here the business activities, and he recommended something, and that was in the way early, so this could be our answer. So I am just going to write down 3 in the front of 29th question. So let's move to the fourth, organizations, companies. They didn't mention in this one, so fourth, fifth could not be our answer. What people are increasingly expected to do, they didn't mention anything like people what should do, no. So and seventh and eighth and nine, here they are talking about outcomes. There they are talking about 2 approaches, but they are just one approach and there is no outcome here. And here they are also talking about advantages and disadvantages, but in the paragraph they didn't mention any advantage or disadvantage. So our answer could be third, but we don't have to be very focused right now on finding exact answer. So let's move to paragraph D. So let's move to the next question. This keyword we find out business and people, which is in D paragraph. Here 38th question keyword business and people. Here we find business and people. Answer of 38th question is true, but again I'm not going to explain it right now because it will be off topic, but you can pause it and check it by yourself. I will encourage that. After reading the paragraph for finding 38th question, so we learn so much about this paragraph, so we want to use this knowledge right away to finding our list of heading question. We read first line and they say obsession with efficiency is misguided. That means something originally believed was not true. So let's move to the options. It seems first option, because certain approach, and they are talking about complaints. But so far reading after this paragraph I understand approach meaning here is order or disorder, so this could not be our answer, first one. Second options could be our answer since it talk about beliefs are incorrect. It could be our answer because here they are saying obsession with efficiency is might misguided. The problem is not necessarily the management theories or strategies we use to organize our work. It is the basic conception we hold in approaching how we work. So that means something we used to believe that's true, like efficiency we used to believe it's good, obsession with efficiency, but it is in fact a wrong thing. So second could be our answer. So I just write down 2 in front of 30th question just in case. So let's check about next options. Early recommendation, when it's come to this, should be any year or it's about a long time ago or something like that should be mentioned here, so it's not mentioned here. Organizations and companies, did they mention organization and company? No. Here in this paragraph, in this paragraph, organizations meaning company and organized meaning order. So remember this difference. Organizations and companies they didn't mention here, so it should not be our answer. I mean, fourth and fifth should not be our answer. Outcome and expectation, what people have to do it, and approaches. No, they didn't mention approaches. Only one approach they mention in this one. And any advantages or disadvantage they mention? No, they didn't mention any advantage or disadvantage in first 2 or 3 lines. So let's move to the next question. Since E paragraph doesn't have keyword for true false question, so we are going to solve list of heading question directly. Since this paragraph is very small, so we have to read it all. Generally I like to read first 2 line and last 2 line. If I read last 2 lines in this one, some argue that in a business, if the cost of formally structuring something outweigh the benefit of doing it, then that thing ought not to be formally structured. Instead, the resources involved can be better used somewhere. If we read first line, order does increase productivity to a certain extent, but eventually the usefulness of the process of organization and the benefit it yields reduce until the point where any further increase in order reduce productivity. So by this one we understand order benefits till certain extent, but eventually it ends. So with this learning, start reading question. Remember, in heading question they did not talk about approach, but don't talk about complaint. So with this learning, start reading questions. Remember, in paragraph we learned they did talk about approaches here, but they did not talk about complaints. So first one will not be our answer. They didn't talk about any fundamental belief, any recommendations, and companies and organizations. So first 5 questions are not our answer. So let's look at the 6th option. What people are increasingly expected to, but they didn't mention about here people here, so 6 should not be our answer. How to achieve outcomes, they are mentioning here outcomes, but they are saying they are already getting it, and they didn't tell how, so 7 will not be our answer. 8, they are saying neither approach guarantees continuous improvement. Here they are talking about only one approach. And then finally, ninth question, evidence that a certain approach can have more disadvantages than advantages. Here they are talking about one approach can have more disadvantages than advantages. So when we read this one, order does increase productivity to a certain extent, but eventually the usefulness of the process, organization, and the benefit it yields reduce until the point where any further increase in order reduce productivity. Some argue that in a business, if the cost of formally structuring something outweighs the benefit doing it, then that thing ought not to be formally structured. So ninth should be our answer, since they are saying that certain one approach can have more disadvantage than advantages. Here, if we try to structure something, then there are more disadvantage than advantage. The second part of this video ends here. So see you in the third part. If you have any questions so far, please write down in comment section. Please like, subscribe and share with your friend. Thank you very much.